With your CIGTV News Update, I'm Donna Bush. Thanks for joining us. Premier the Honorable Alden McLaughlin and Eric Bush, Chief Officer for the Ministry of International Trade, Investment, Aviation and Maritime Affairs, participated in the annual Princess Caroline of Monaco Foundation annual charity bicycle ride on Sunday. Wow, that was a mouthful. Well, joining the Cayman team were Orit Connor, host of Radio Cayman's For the Record talk show, and Inspector Andre Tahal of the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, who traveled to Monaco at their own expense to participate in the 87-mile charity ride from Saint-Tropez in France to Monaco. Now, the course, which winds through towns and mountains, took some 7 hours to complete. A press release from the Premier's office says the Premier was happy to have fellow Caymanian cyclists with him for mutual support and camaraderie over the course of the ride. The Cayman Islands was ably represented in the charity ride, with all four successfully completing the course. In addition to the four Caymanians, more than 100 riders participated, including several professional bicyclists, former athletes, and business people, most of whom participate every year. All right. Well, the Cayman Islands Government Passport and Corporate Services Office is notifying those applying for British passports and British Overseas Territory citizen passports in the Cayman Islands of the rules and requirements under the United Kingdom's one name policy for all British passports. This advisory applies particularly to those applicants who show different names in their British passport applications from their current or expired one, but not cancelled national passport. The UK's one-name policy, established in the interest of identity protection, requires individuals to use one name for all official purposes and documentation, and aims to protect the public from criminal and false passport use. Now, guidance on the use and change of names, as well as additional security requirements when considering the use of names in British passports, can be found online at gov.uk. And change of name guidance application forms can be found online here locally at immigration.gov.ky website. Well, the Department of Children and Family Services is organizing the following interactive events to celebrate Child Month next month. So it all starts on this Wednesday, May the 1st. The theme for this year's observance is Be Strong, Be Brave, Be You. Here's a look at the list of events taking place in your community. Now, for more information, you should contact the DCFS on 949-0290. That's 949-0290. For a look at our weekly schedule of programs here on CIG Television, you can go online to gis.gov.ky. If you missed today's news update, you can go to the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page as well as the CIG Television YouTube channel. I'm Donna Bush, as always, thanking you for joining us, wishing you a wonderful and, of course, a very safe night. Hoping you'll join me back here again tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye for now.
Boating, fishing, and water sports in the Cayman Islands are great, but keep a cool head. Here are 7 tips for fun and safe sea outings. Number 1. Use a checklist to plan your outing. Check the weather forecast, make a float plan, and share it with someone who is remaining on land, stating where you're going, with whom, and when you're expected to return. Visit your nearest marine supply store to get your safety gear. This includes signaling mirrors, whistles, and a flare kit. It's also very important to have onboard flotation devices and life vests for each person. There are different types of vests. Some are for water sport activities such as snorkeling, and others are for going on offshore boating or on fishing trips. Number 2. These items can be lifesavers in case of an accident or bad weather. Number 3. Use a motor kill switch, especially if you're boating alone. In case of a leak or breakdown, always stay with the boat until help arrives. If you capsize, an emergency beacon or locator device can send a distress signal to inform the authorities of your location. Larger flares will indicate distress to a boat, airplane, or search and rescue officials. Number 4. In addition to sunscreen, food, and beverages, it would be smart to have a cell phone. Make sure your marine radio works. Cayman boaters use Channel 16 to communicate. Number 5. Also, don't forget your anchor and sufficient rope. Number 6. Boat operators should be familiar with the local waters and reefs, as well as the capabilities and functions of the vessels they are using. Always obey the rules of the sea and the marine environment, and have courtesy for others. Number 7. Alcohol and salt water do not mix, especially if you're the captain. Some useful contact numbers are 911. The RCIPS Marine Base is 649-7710, and the Port Authority is 949-2055. Smooth sailing, all!
I'm Jody Ann Powery. I'm the Police Media Officer with the RCIPS, and I'm here to give you some crime prevention tips on how to best protect your property. The first thing that we want to discuss is our points of entries. Let's start with the front door, and then we'll move on to the windows and the back doors or sliding glass doors. The first thing to consider is the front door. This particular front door has 2 deadbolt locks. One of these deadbolt locks are properly carpentered and the other is not. When your door is properly locked, you'll hear a click at the end and the deadbolts are not able to move. If it is slightly opened, then you can push the deadbolt back without having any restrictions. I'll now proceed to show you what your lock should look like when it is properly locked. When it comes to your windows, you want to make sure that your window is locked all the way down, because even though the lock is on, if it's not all the way down, it can still be pried. The proper way to lock the window is to make sure that the window goes all the way down to the seal and then you pull across the lock. When you have a sliding glass door at home, you want to make sure that you have secondary locking devices in addition to the lock that comes with the door. One of those can be a simple piece of wood that's jamming the doorway. We want to encourage you to ensure that you don't make things easy for burglars who are looking for opportunities to break into property by leaving your property out in plain view. Some of these items are your car keys, your electronics, and your handbags. Make sure that you put these properties away when you're leaving the house or when you're going to bed. When you're going camping or if you're taking your family on a trip, you want to ensure that your property has some sign of life. This can be done by leaving a light on or putting timers on your lights. And we want to ensure that our family homes are safe. In order to do so, we encourage that people take the proper precautions by starting up neighborhood watches or encouraging family members or persons they trust to check on their properties while they're away.